Well, the most serious cyber attacks against Estonia happened already more than 10 years ago. And obviously, when you take into account the speed of technological progress, then 10 years is a very, very long time. A lot has changed since 2007. We have done very serious lessons learned. And what we have done is we've defined digital infrastructures as part of the critical infrastructure that needs to be kept going in difficult circumstances, under a lot of stress during times of crises. Cyber is no longer an isolated area. It's increasingly intertwined with other more traditional infrastructures. So when you think of operating power grids or water distribution networks or emergency phone lines, they all rely on cyber infrastructure these days. So obviously governments will have to make sure that cyber infrastructure is resilient, is sufficiently backed up. That's one side of it. Also, what we learned, since some of those attacks 10 years ago were aimed at or against privately operated companies that did business in the cyberspace, like, for example, commercial banks. We also realized that much of the expertise in trying to mitigate those threats and deal with their effects lies within the private sector. So what we need is a very close cooperation between the private sector and the government. And in order for the private enterprises, private companies to be ready to share their expertise with the government, one needs a significant amount of trust and confidence. So we have built up a very close partnership between the government and the private sector. Also, what we found out was that there wasn't a very strong international normative base when we experienced the first cyber attacks. We know that it's very difficult to accurately attribute the attacks when they happen in the cyberspace, because then there are no clear national boundaries or borders in the cyberspace like the ones that exist in real world, in the real life. So in order for the governments to share information regarding what's happening in the cyberspace, there needs to be a legal basis. So we've worked very hard to establish such a legal base. We are happy to be the host country of NATO Center of Excellence for Cyber Defense, which actually deals exactly with these issues and also conducts their own exercises. It's a joint operation that is being co-owned by all the participating NATO nations, but obviously being the host country is a very important both opportunity and challenge for us. So we do a lot, and I think that when you look at the cyber, when you look at the digital, then one can never stop progress. It's important to bear in mind that the benefits that comes with technological innovation and modernization and progress are so significant, and the benefits far outweigh all the potential vulnerabilities, which obviously does not mean that we can ignore those vulnerabilities. We must constantly work to keep up with those who seek to harm us and address the vulnerabilities and to maintain a very high degree of awareness of the threats and vulnerabilities so as to be ready to take them on.